Sean from SW Inspections here. It's story time. So, maybe 6 months to a year ago now, I'm catching up on all the stories. I met a wonderful woman named Gilda. She hired me to do a 4.0 wind mitigation on her home. I was recommended by a local insurance agent that we've been working with for years. She had just recently retired. She was a school bus teacher with the county for like 30-something years, driving your kids to work. Or, I'm sorry, to school, not to work. And after she retired, she wanted to take out a home equity line of credit on her home. So her home was paid off, and she didn't need or want insurance, so she didn't have it. But she wanted to spruce up the place for her retirement, right? So she wanted to replace the windows and the doors, make it really nice, you know? She worked hard all of her life. So in order to do that, she had to get insurance. So that's where I come in. We do the required reports, and then we send them off to her agent, and then they send it off to the company, and then she can get her home equity, and she can make her dreams come true. It's all good. The problem is that when we get there, there's several things that are really messed up. I looked up in the attic, or rather I was in the process of setting my ladder up to go into the attic, when she said, "Hey, can you please take a look at that AC unit up there? I've had nothing but trouble with this AC company, and they've been out here 3 or 4 times, and I'm at my wit's end." Of course, yeah, let me take a look. So I get up there, and immediately you can see that the condensate line is leaking. Condensate line is the one that brings all of the water from the air conditioner outside of the house. And if it's leaking up in the attic especially, it can cause damage to the ceiling and all that stuff. It's like, okay, great. So that immediately fails her 4-point. She can't get insurance. She can't get her loan. So that's issue number 1. Issue number 2 is when we open up the electrical panel, we realize that when the unit was put in, when the AC company swapped out for the different unit, they had to step down the power a little bit. More efficient units, newer units require different power, so they went from a 30 amp circuit to a 25 amp circuit, so they had to run a new line. Not really supposed to do that, but that's another story. And when they did that, they just mangled the wire. Like, it just looked like crap. Like, they didn't even try. It was nicked, and you could see the entire panel looked like perfect, except this one set of wires that the AC company, it was bad. So there you go. Okay, here's another fire hazard. So that's going to fail the report. So there's number 2. And then I walk over to the water heater, which was, I don't know, maybe a year or 2 old. Not old. But the wiring was just trash. It was exposed. It was 12 feet of wire when it only needed this much. Okay, all right. Take a deep breath. Now I got to go talk to this woman who I just met 15 minutes ago. Welcome to my life. And I show her what's going on. I tell her what's going on, and she looks at me and she says, "Well, this is going to, fail my inspection. I'm not going to be able to get the home equity line of credit. I'm not going to be able to update my house." I said, "Unfortunately, yes. Look, I'm not here to pass or fail you. I'm just here to, tell the truth and take pictures and be honest. That's why I started this business. It's who I am." And she starts crying. I said, "Okay, hold on. Call the AC company, ask them to make it right. Call the people who installed the water heater, ask them to make it right. If I have to get involved, when the system has failed, I'm the last line of defense here, not the first. Everything else has failed if I have to get involved here." So she did. I said, "Of course, you tell me what I need to do. Let me help. I'm here to help. That's why I'm here." So she calls me later that day, and she says, "Hey, the AC company has given me the runaround. And the guy that installed the water heater, I call his phone number, and the phone is disconnected. It just gives you that beep, beep, beep nonsense." So, okay. We pulled a permit, or rather you pulled a permit, for getting this AC system installed. So we have some leverage there. But you didn't pull a permit for the water heater. Not the end of the world, but you're not really going to have much of a leg to stand on there. So she asked me, "Can you please help me?" And I said, "Yes." So because she pulled a permit for the AC system, I basically wrote a demand letter saying, hey, you broke this code, this code, this code, this code. It needs to be fixed. If not, we're going to get this entity, this entity, this entity involved. Basically just make the contractor's life hell. Well, they're making this lady's life hell. Why not? We sent that over, and the next day, she sends me a picture that she took on her cell phone of 2 trucks or vans from the AC company. One was the AC guy, and the other was the electrician. Because you know how these AC companies work. They're all doing everything all at once. The condensate line up in the attic was fixed, and they really fixed it. Like, they never wanted to come back again. And good, just do it right the first time, but whatever, it's done. And the electrical panel was fixed. Although, while the contractor was there, he was telling Gilda that I was being whatever, and this wasn't necessary. I don't know. It's a fire hazard, but whatever. It got done. But unfortunately, she told me that she still couldn't get a hold of the person that installed the water heater. Please help. Please help. Okay. And at least once a month this happens, to where I go to somebody's house and they're literally tears in their eyes asking for help. I mean, what do you do, right? You help. So I said, okay, we're going to make this right. So Jim at my office, he answers the phone systems. He does all the research. He makes sure that my schedule is not absolutely insane. He's a retired electrician. So we go and we grab a bunch of old electrical stuff. Not old, it's fine. Just spare electrical parts in his garage because he's got a ton. We grab a watertight whip and a junction box and some wire nuts. And we go over there and we take the wiring apart, put it back together. Takes 15 minutes. I retake all the pictures for the AC and the electrical panel, and now we have a passing 4-point. I get that sent over to the insurance agent, and yeah, she gets the result that she wanted. She was able to update her report, sent me pictures about it, or not update the report, update her house. She sent me some pictures, which was really cool. And before I did all that, I sent the insurance agent that demand letter. Before I sent the demand letter, I said to him, hey, you're going to see something from me that you normally wouldn't see, because normally it's just reports. But you're going to see something interesting, so be aware. So I forwarded that over to her and to the insurance agent. And then, of course, we were able to get the results that we were looking for. And come to find out, the insurance agent forwarded that demand letter and the story that came with it to everybody in the office. And every single one of the people in the office reached out to me individually and said, I can't believe you pulled that off. Like, without you doing that, she would not have been able to get this far. And that makes me feel good, that I can be a positive force in somebody's life. But it highlights a very common problem, and that's that especially single older women, especially widowed single older women, get taken advantage of by contractors a lot. The stories I could tell, and that's the whole point of these videos, is that I'm going to tell them all, because I got to get them off my chest and tell you guys what to be on the lookout for. These contractors are taking advantage of people, especially in the HVAC space right now. Private equity has kind of gotten involved, so you never really know who's owning the company and whether or not they're good people. The days of a mom and pop family run service business, apparently it's gone, and that's really sad, because the way that we run SW inspections is we tell you what we're going to do, and then we do it, and that's it. But that doesn't seem to be the case with a lot of other companies these days. The moral of the story is that the permit saved her butt. If they would not have made it right, we would have gotten the Department of Business Regulation here in Florida involved. We would have gotten the Better Business Bureau involved. We would have filed formal complaints and tried to get their license revoked. Because that's what you do with a bad contractor. If you're going to take advantage of a retired, widowed, older woman for money, and I come along and you're not making it right, I will burn you to the ground. So back to the moral of the story. Make sure you get permits. Make sure everything is permitted. Know your rights as a Florida homeowner or as an American citizen as being a homeowner. If you pull a permit and somebody doesn't do it right, you have every right to go to the city, go to the county, bring somebody like me involved, up to and including, litigation. Bring them into civil court. You might not get the answer that you're looking for, but you should never give up. And if things feel weird, if things don't pass the smell test, then call a guy like me or somebody else that you know, a friend or a family member that maybe works in construction or has experience with these kinds of things. Don't go it alone. If you feel like you're being taken advantage of by a contractor, you probably are.